Time and space have lost all meaning, and yet still we look to the future. A future that may never happen if we fail in our mission. We watch to remind us of what we are fighting for. These are the Dino Charge Ranger Logs. Greetings, Ranger fans. Database Ranger reporting in. This is Ranger Log Designation DC03, a fool's hour. Upon his ship, Sledge raises some good points.
65 million years, and you couldn't snag a single energem?
While the returned Fury offers some less good points.
Heber gave them to dinosaurs for protection!
Especially considering that those dinosaurs probably didn't even survive day one on the job. Meanwhile, one of his bounties turns into a disembodied iron claw to attempt an eons overdue jailbreak, but doesn't exactly make it very far.
So, Scrapper, you want to escape, huh? No, I was just bring me an energem, and I'll personally chauffeur you to any galaxy you want.
Down on Earth, Shelby pops down to the Dino Cave to find Riley playing tennis with his Dino Saber, Chase repairing his skateboard, and Tyler...
Isn't it great? I get to be a busboy at the cafe.
...being oddly excited at his cover identity assigned by Kendall.
Sometimes you're busy saving the world, and other times you're busy flipping burgers. Today, it's burgers.
And I'm sure it will stay that way. Cue Coda, who wakes up from his adjoining cave dwelling, revealing to the newbies that he is, in fact, a 100,000-year-old
Caveman.
Which is apparently possible due to his energem halting the aging process. He shows them the petroglyphs foreshadowing his story for future episodes, and they quickly latch on to the image of Fury, who Riley recognizes from the forest and Tyler recognizes from his father's journal. But backstory time is over as they are sent off to face off against Sledge's crew in the forest.
Allow me to introduce the most magnificent intergalactic bounty hunter in the universe!
Who's apparently also the original Rocketeer.
My future husband, Sledge!
Coda and Tyler are more interested in spotting Fury, though, until Keeper arrives to do some smack-talking.
The energems belong to no one, especially not to you.
Apparently forgetting about the 5 energem owners standing behind him, and prompting Sledge to explain his return.
I waited in deep space for millions of years for a comet to pass. I caught it with my electronets and rode it all the way to Earth.
And it looks like he's super cranky about being left without food, water, and oxygen for so long, queuing up Keeper's exit so that the Rangers can show their stuff in battle, morphing to survive Sledge's attack, and demonstrating that they're not really up to the challenge quite yet after all, as they're each quickly demorphed by a single hit apiece. Yet, instead of just finishing them off and taking the energems by force, Sledge decides to give them an hour to surrender before he destroys the planet.
1 hour!
So while the others want to work together to figure out a plan of action, Tyler decides to follow a hunch and go after Fury.
We don't always have to be together to work together.
Of course, the others just assume he's a vengeance-driven hothead and decide to leave without him, rather than, I don't know, actually talking to him about what his hunch may be. Fortunately for him, though, the hunch pays off, as he happens upon Fury meeting up with Sledge, who, after doing his best Scorpion impression,
Get over here!
reveals that his true plan is to let Scrapper follow the Rangers back to their base, so he can wipe them out and steal the energems. Which is, again, somehow a better idea than just destroying them while they were at his mercy. Tyler tries warning the rest of the team, but his communication device got cracked during his last tumble, so he has to race to warn them about the extremely conspicuous flying claw following them back to the museum.
Too late, Red Ranger! Secret's out!
Now it's up to Tyler to chase down Scrapper, who hitches a ride over to Fury's old space pod, and it looks like he's about to escape, until Tyler rams his Jeep headlong into the space pod.
You'll pay for that!
Oh yeah, there's no way his insurance company is ever covering him for that one. So the monster summons the Viveks, and Tyler morphs again to take them on, only for Crybaby Wrench to arrive and knock the Red Ranger back out of morph. Luckily, Kendall has managed to upgrade the Dino Chargers, so when the others join him on the battlefield, after a quick chastisement,
That's why you don't follow hunches.
and subsequent explanation,
So if you hadn't followed Fury,
Sledge would be making his way into our base right now, destroying everything and everyone.
they decide to show off their shiny full-length morph sequence and activate their new armor mode, Dino Steel, complete with signature weapons to use against the alien forces, including Chase's Parachopper, Riley's Raptor Claw, Shelby's Triceradrill, Koda's Stega Shield, and Tyler's T-Rex Smasher. But when the oversized Vivizords prove too much for them, Shelby decides to summon her new Tricerazord, which is apparently just something she has now, crashing along tail first to drill straight through the xenomorphic monsters. But just when it looks like the battle's done, as Tyler blasts through Scrapper with Koda's Stega Charger, Sledge busts out his saddle lasers. Maximizer.
Magna Beam!
Yes, that. To make the monster grow.
Big, like mammoth.
Even Rexy's massive amounts of collateral damage aren't enough to take him out, so Kendall informs them of their new ability to combine their Zords together, leading Koda to call in his Stegazord to join the party.
Dino Charge Megazord, Tri-Stego Formation.
The three Zords merge into a surprisingly agile new Megazord with a spiffy custom cockpit that is remarkably able to flip around just as much as its components without actually doing any damage to the surrounding buildings, before shutting up Scrapper once and for all with a T-Rex Zord final strike. With the monster extinct, they all get back to work down at the Dino Bite Cafe, where Chase and Koda apparently also work when not going on archaeological digs, and Chase and Tyler apologize to each other for their earlier misunderstanding. And although Shelby still resents having to flip burgers, Tyler is thrilled to show off his latest moves, inadvertently helping Koda make a burger patty disappear, and then reappear.
Sorry. Coda!
Dude!
And that's the end of the episode. So, what did I think of it? Well, if the first two episodes served as an introduction, this is very much the one that establishes the status quo. The villains return and are reunited, the Rangers are settling into their new jobs and getting to know their teammates, and we are introduced to this season's take on personalized weapons, monster growth, and Megazord combination, all topped off with a character conflict of the week. However, the manner in which a number of these plot points are executed does leave something to be desired. The revelation that Sledge and his crew have essentially done nothing for 65 million years, only for a comet to take them straight to Earth, seriously stretches suspension of disbelief, especially since most ancient villains in the PRU are only a few thousand years old and have generally spent that time either imprisoned in stasis or off conquering parts unknown. Contrast the revelation of Koda as a caveman, which introduced the interesting concept of never-aging heroes, and foreshadowed other story elements through his petroglyphs, hinting that there may yet be an explanation why he is still so ignorant of modern language and societal norms. Another interesting contrast can be found in the additions to their arsenal. While the justification for Dino Steel borders on overcompensation by having the Rangers be knocked out of basic morph almost comically easy during the first act, the introduction of the Tricerazord comes pretty well out of nowhere. In fact, we still don't know where any of these Zords really come from. Whereas previous seasons have often had the Zords simply as part of the powers, Dino Charge has gone out of its way to present them as separate entities that simply draw from the same power source. And this is further confused by the expanded origin of the Energems. First as independent sources of power, then bonded to dinosaur spirits, then finally technologically modified by Kendall, essentially creating a double-edged sword of detail. The more they give you, the more you come to expect. But all that aside, the true strength of this episode lies in its characters. One of the funniest moments stems from Sledge, established here as a powerful and cunning foe, yet still struggling to remain intimidating as his shoulder jet fails to deploy. And easily the most awesome moment comes from Tyler, who, after establishing himself with an unfailingly positive can-do attitude and a tendency to trust his instincts, rams a spaceship with his Jeep to save his new teammates. I feel the need to say that again. He rams a spaceship with his Jeep. That is awesome! Why can't all Red Rangers do that? But I'm getting off topic here. The reason that these moments work so well is because they are tied to strong characters. And much of the rest of this episode does a great job helping us get to know the rest of the cast. Whether it's Koda and Fury's long-standing rivalry, Wrench's ability to dish it out without being able to take it, or Chase's struggle to hold his newly expanded team together. Overall, this episode works hard to establish Dino Charge as a season with a clear mix of strengths and weaknesses, leaving some concepts uneven and underdeveloped, while taking others in very interesting and fun directions, all while centering around a distinct and diverse cast of characters. In other words, the classic Chiplin style is back in full swing. So until my next entry, if I make a next entry,
Database, we need you.
I'll be right there. This is Database Ranger signing off. Farewell, Ranger fans, and let the power protect us all.